yourself.
Okay, stream is on. Behave.
I swear to God, these people get glowing eyes and they would look like fucking Javas.
So how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Friday.
Holy shit.
Hello, Cox.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, old man.
Bro.
The
lips of this guy.
Mr. Miller.
Let's just
I don't know
organize
what
into
you're
our
talking
squads
about.
and stuff, so we can get
Yes.
started.
Yes.
So we're gonna actually line up out here
Yes.
for once. So we look all cool and shit. That means you don't have to crouch. Good. So a little training or a little information before we begin. Training today is most going to be circled around some theoretical parts, especially in the beginning. We'll be aiming towards the Russian motorized rifle brigades and how they more or less set up. I know I said brigade, which is a lot of people. However, they're there to kind of show you what we might encounter in terms if we're fighting against a conventional enemy. First part is going to be theoretical. Second part is going to go over to a more direct action part, where we will basically learn to fight these units and how to avoid them. Because, as some of you may know, Russians are quite... they very much like their armor and fire superiority. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get in the cars in the back, and we're going to drive to the area itself. And make sure not to open fire on something that looks suspicious unless it shoots it. How to say. Grab your kit that you would usually have. That means grenades, AT, whatever. And just get to the vehicles. Right, any questions? Take that as a no. And let's get going.
Ja.
Gör bara kittet ditt. Ja, byta namn så You. How you doing, man? Pretty good. Does it matter which vehicle we get in? Well, just get in. Yeah, stay with your team.
What are we doing? We're driving.
Driving somewhere.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, okay, 1-1. Half of us split into one of the vehicles and the other take another vehicle. Me, Swag, and Coxie, King, Hannibal, and Scudo can be in one vehicle. You guys are in one vehicle.
I'm jumping in. I have jumped in.
Yes.
Ah, I don't know how to drive for once.
I don't know where people are. Who is where now? Who's in this vehicle? Okay, yeah, Hannibal needs to be here.
Who's here with me?
Yeah, jump in this one. I think.
Radio check.
Lima Charlie. Out. That's cool.
Radio check 111.
Lima Charlie. Out.
There we go. Somebody jump in the gunner seat.
King is in the gunner seat.
Okay, yeah. Scudo, just jump in my vehicle. Yep. Try to join the squad or something. on the shack tackle.
Ja, hörde det. Chauffören.
Ja, vänta lite, må fixa radio men...
Pedalen. Vad är det nu?
En och en. Sable, where are we going and what are we doing?
Get in a line formation.
No! Okay, let me walk away here. Am I hot micing still?
Yes.
Okay, let me change the settings here.
You're on the radio, Swag.
Yeah. One sec.
Right. Okay. So we can
Stop on the radio track.
list formations. Did anyone hear on the radio that I said line formation?
Yeah, but I don't know where we're lined up.
Okay.
So I lined up
Yeah,
close to the
fuck
other
it.
vehicle.
Yeah, what radio channel?
Yeah,
What frequency?
111 apparently. Right, so fuck that for now, and we're gonna go to the more theoretical parts. We'll read the document. Not all of you have to have it open, but just information. Mentions brigade reconnaissance companies. These companies are usually not the tip of the spear, but they are the sensory parts of the spear. Their main purpose.
Ja.
Who's the fucking moron?
The AI over there.
Yeah,
I saw it.
it's not the AI, believe me. They're set on careless.
Can you heal us?
Oh, I was tapped out.
I think we all need a suit here.
That's a lot of moaning.
This will leave a mark.
Haha, very funny,
What
David.
happened?
I don't know.
Somebody threw a frag.
Threw a grenade.
Oh.
Nice.
I saw it fly. I was like, okay, weird joke. Boom.
Why didn't you catch it?
I was too far. Sorry. I don't have 5 meter long arms.
Next time, go lay on it. Let me throw it.
I wasn't fast enough. Sorry. Would have otherwise.
Right, now, is anyone who's still hurt here?
We're good.
Negatives.
Nope.
Right, good. We're gonna get over to the more theoretical parts again. So please this time equip something that is not a deadly fucking weapon. And don't spam the radio. Anyway, so if you all come with me. What we have in front of us is your typical brigade reconnaissance companies, and if you may notice, there are the Tigger M's behind these BRDMs. These are the two vehicles that may vary in between. What makes these difference is that they are, as I said before, the sensory parts of the main force itself, especially in the Brigade Reconnaissance Company, or in the Brigade Reconnaissance term. These guys drive out a couple of kilometers and sometimes even miles ahead of the main force itself to recon and spot suitable places for artillery, helicopter landing zones, and stuff like that. These guys are also pretty much a good tell of where the enemy is going to go, because the enemy itself, especially in terms of motorized rifle brigades and companies and battalions for that matter, they tend to drive on roads because their offensive doctrine circles around the fact that they were from a road or from an open area will be able to come out in their full formation. So take a look at these and remember the vehicles itself. Seeing one of these is usually a good tell. Right. Any questions about them as a whole?
Which one will fuck you up the most?
The BRDMs are a little bit heavier in terms of weaponry and armor. They will shoot you and they have a little bit further range. However, the Tigger M's can come equipped with grenade launchers and can pack a lot more people in the back. Depends on what you call which one will fuck you up the most. Initially, it might be the BRDM due to armor and weapons. Then there will be the Tigger M's if they pack the infantry and the gunners up top with the nice and fun equipment.
Can we
Yep.
can we penetrate armor on BRDMs and Tiggers with 320 HEDP? Is that a effective countermeasure to that?
This
Most
is the vehicles. You would use the disposables on, basically.
Yeah. These vehicles can be disabled through AT. They can be disabled through heavier machine guns, and sometimes you can even penetrate through armor-piercing means. The BRDMs in these cases can be, and sometimes can even be deployed through or from aerial units, BDV. Those guys are quite nasty, and we'll get to them later. In the second part of the Brigade Reconnaissance, if you neutralize them or if you've dealt with them or whatever you decide to do, usually there comes the Battalion Reconnaissance or the First Platoon or Patrol Platoon. These guys are the heavier types, and their main role is to basically drive on the road where the rest of the main force is going to go and just wait until they start shooting, or the enemy starts shooting at their armored vehicles. These armored vehicles are the BMP. They're the ones who are left over here, so take a look at them and be able to remember them. There are slight differences. Some of them carry ATGM capabilities, meaning that they will be able to take out our armor, or even helicopters if they want to do that. However, they might want to use those on heavier stuff. These come equipped with they come in different variations: BMP-1, BMP-2, and BMP-3. BMP-2 is going to be the most, standardized variant, which means that you'll most likely see these. BMP-3, on the other hand, will come equipped with a 100mm or 100mm cannon, therefore sort of functioning as a tank. And if you might have noticed, I've said we are fighting against the motorized infantry and motorized brigade. Russians aren't super keen on utilizing the correct terms for their brigades and or their companies itself. The BMPs, they can be equipped and can be found within the motorized brigades. However, that comes at a trade-off. Without the BMPs, you might not, if you encounter BMPs, there might not be the chances that the enemy has anti-tank capabilities in a larger scale, or the fact that they don't utilize brigade reconnaissance, because BMPs are primarily for offensive styles of combat, where the protection is higher, but also the firepower. Thus, the having people to tell you what's going to happen further up is not that vital, because most of the offensive strategies around the Russians focus on direct contact and more or less surprising the enemy. Imagine Blitzkrieg, but a little bit more Russified. If we move over to the BTRs. there's a couple of differences between the BTR's 82s and the BTR 80s. Does somebody know right off the bat which the differences are?
Cannon.
Cannon. Anything else?
No.
Capacity? Like carrying capacities?
No, not exactly. These ones they carry roughly the same amount of troopers. They can be positioned outside, but also inside.
Are
What
they
makes
amphibious?
they
Right.
are amphibious, yeah, and are quite popular amongst the marine or naval forces, which means that these ones, or especially the 82s, come equipped with day and night capabilities, meaning that they can use night vision, thermal. I think they can use thermals. I'm not entirely sure on that.
The newest ones, yeah.
Yeah, these are the brand new ones and the ones that are most dangerous, considering the fact that they have a 30mm autocannon. So reconnaissance, which you guys might be able to do or might do in the future, if you want to send a message to your command or whatever, it is usually appreciated if you try to be as exact as possible with the vehicles you're seeing. If you don't know the name for it, just type out a BTR with a cannon on it, and the commanders will be able to figure out the rest themselves. These ones can also be used as the patrol or the battalion reconnaissance, meaning that these drive, just similar to the BMPs, just drive straight into the thick of it and expect to get fired at. However, they will always be further behind, or they will always be supported by artillery or heavier alternatives, which we will get to in a second. On our left again, we can see the beauty of...
Sorry,
yeah?
one question. Is the cannon the same on all the 3 variants?
On these 3 variants, yes. They are autocannons and similar to the ones found on the BMP. I don't know exact millimeters and centimeters and whatnot.
Basically, this version is the 82mm, and the other version has the same cannons as the BMD spine. Oh, what was it called again? BDRM
BMPs.
Spinus. Yeah.
Right. Anything else? Something about how much it will fuck you up?
On the model difference, are there external impeller blades on the amphibious variants for the models that we see, so we can make that determination whether they're the amphibious variant or not?
I haven't actually found anything in the RHS which says that there's a difference, but they are supposed to be all amphibious, this vehicle. We'll just have to try it out in a later stage.
Yeah, it's the water jet propulsion. You can actually see the hatch for it in the rear. And if you look on the rear, you can see like a lower center hatch. It's like a cone shape. That is the hole for the propulsion. So it's water jet, no propeller visible.
Right. So we take a look at the tanks over here.
Main battle tanks.
These ones are the biggest capabilities, or the biggest enemy you guys will face when during an operation. These are the T-72 B3s, which is the updated and latest variants of the tanks. They are the most numerous and, to one extent, the most used. However, these ones, in terms of the structure itself in the brigade, these will be found either within the battalion or brigade, spread out, or they will be found on the flanks where these support or are supporting with cover for the rest of the forces. Because the enemy, or the enemy in this case, the Russians, they are usually expecting that the enemy will try to do a flank and come in from the sides. So that's why they have tanks usually on the flanks or in areas where they are not as well protected. Any questions about these?
Yeah, question.
Yep.
Is there any possibility of encountering the T-80?
The T-80 can be found, but however, it is limited to an extent. Due to it being not as widely used and in lower numbers, if you have mission makers who decide to follow those rules, so to say.
Right.
So, come with me. Now we come to the more interesting stuff.
SPG.
These are the self-propelled guns. These are the QS 19s or QS exactly sure what they are called. 2S9s, I believe. These are the self-propelled artilleries. These are the nasty pieces and can usually be found further back in the main force itself. They are always within firing ranges, or all of these troopers, besides the brigade reconnaissance, are always within firing ranges of these. That's because through artillery support and through artillery power, the Russians primarily focus to decimate the enemy as soon as possible, and artillery is quite hard to counter. So, if you ever stumble upon these things and try to neutralize artillery as fast as possible, they are considered to be one of the weaker ends, even though they are armored and can shoot directly at you. Trying to neutralize these pieces will make the rest of the forces somewhat limited. Behind us, or behind these, we have the D-30As.
Sorry, just
Yeah.
one more thing. If we come under fire, and we suspect it's one of these, what do we do?
Yes, try to destroy it. Get out of there.
No. Like if we're engaging the enemy.
Yeah.
And they're like out of our range.
If
we come under fire of them.
Unless it's those cars over there. Yeah. If it's those cars back there we looked at first, probably not. Anything else here?
Yeah, but make sure you communicate it on the radio so platoon and squad knows, because then they can try to fix it.
To put it in a bit of explanation, the first thing you do is to get cover, get low. The second part is try to get out of the area. That's what you do if you get under the fire.
Okay.
Exactly. And these do not prefer to shoot a precise fire, meaning don't expect 2 or 3 rounds stayed around you. Expect up towards maybe 20, 30, kind of depends on. Right. So if you take a look behind us again, we have the more nasty stuff. These are the D-30As. These can be dropped from planes and are commonly used amongst the VDV, which are the parachute regiments of the Russian armed forces. These things have somewhat of a limited use. However, they are easy to transport and they can fire quite rapidly. However, due to them not being self-propelled and have to be dragged, they're not the most mobile of stuff. So if you have the capabilities and the possibility to destroy these, do so. Right, so now we're going to move over to the most nasty stuff. These are the BM... Yeah, to an extent, yes. The BM-21-1 Grads fire 21mm rockets and can fire a fuckload of them. These ones have by far the longest range of most artillery units and can wreak havoc to a level that is extreme. Same thing goes with every other artillery piece. If you locate these, try to call that in, and if you get the go-ahead to destroy them, do so. Limiting maybe 3 of 4 is good enough, but always try to disable or destroy these. Well, they're quite self-explanatory. You will see a bunch of lights coming in through the sky, which will be the rockets. A couple of kilometers before they hit, they will turn off or the fuel will go out, and the rocket will therefore just fall towards its target. The precision is limited. It can narrow it down to a 100-meter or 50-meter area, but from there is just the end. Can fire a couple of different rockets. It can be primarily high explosives, it can be fragmentation rounds, and it can be other various rounds. So, any questions about it? Nope.
I've got one question, sorry. The reason for the fuel going out is like you can't hear them coming, or?
No, you can still hear them coming because you will hear the whizzing sound. But in terms of observation, they will, let's say if you're firing at night, there's always going to be fuel for these rockets. Once the targets or start reaching their goal, the rocket fuel will run out. And thus you will no longer be able to see it. If you see a bunch of bright lights coming towards you and they suddenly go out, just either find cover or dig down. There's not much you can do in that case.
No, they call these things like grid smashers. Like a battery of these can pretty much subdue an entire grid on a kilometer. So pretty bad.
Pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, it's not a precision weapon. It's made to demoralize and reduce the fighting capability of the unit in that grid.
Precisely. They have quite a funny tactic. It is decimate or change the terrain. Basically, if there's too many trees, buildings, or whatnot in the way, they will fire artillery to change the terrain, therefore removing trees and stuff, making it easier for them to utilize their offensive planning, basically overwhelm the enemy through superior numbers and or superior fire. They're not using mission tactics. Mission tactics is something that is commonly used in the West, meaning that the small squads can adapt very rapidly and quickly to threats. However, on Russians end, this might not be as common. However, mission tactics might be applied to the bigger scale of things, meaning, a battalion, for example. Right. So, any questions other than that? Otherwise, we move on to the one of the most disastrous things ever.
Yeah, I just have one fun note.
Yep, go
ahead. These are brigade assets, so they are used on important targets. So as long as you are unimportant, you won't be hit by them. Remember that, be unimportant.
Yeah, be unimportant. However, something to note, artillery is almost always supported by trucks and other supply vehicles. They can carry their own munition, however, to a limited extent. So they prefer to be in close proximity to ammo trucks and fuel trucks. Right, let's move on. Now we're moving over to the more specific stuff. Wait for everyone to get here. Right. Now we have the more specific stuff. These are the 2S-25s, or the ones closest at least. They are light armored tanks.
VDV asset.
Precisely. They're meant to be power dropped or dropped from planes, and being a support element for the VDV elements. VDV might not use tanks due to them being too heavy to fly via cargo planes, but they will use these. Fun, real stuff. These has been, in real life, these ones have been extremely problematic because the tower, or the turret, is way too heavy for the chassis. Most of these chassis found in the VDV is aluminium with steel platings on the outside to increase the armor. So your 80 weapons, armor piercings, and somewhat even high explosives can do immense damage on these vehicles. However, the VDV, similar to most other Russian units, takes mobility to an extreme, meaning being light and mobile is always appreciated, and also utilizing extreme firepower, or heavier firepower. Which brings us on to the next vehicle, which belongs to the VDV as well.
So they learned something from the Germans then.
Exactly. So can somebody tell me what these are?
Fucking ugly.
Preferably somebody who's not a army nerd or military over enthusiast.
If I had to guess, I would say
IFV.
AA.
Some say AA, some say IFV. It's an IFV, exactly. However, these ones are, some of you might say, or might think about it, it's similar to a BMP. Does anyone agree with this?
Partly.
Partially, yeah. These are the BRDMs, or BDMs, sorry. Or BMDs, that's the right. They are power drop and used by the VDV. They are the light support vehicles, or light APCs, or light infantry fighting vehicles, whatever you want to call them. These ones are the 4 variants, which is the BMD 4K or 4M. You see that by them having a 100mm cannon next to a 30mm cannon. Meaning, if you get engaged, they might fire a 100mm round at you, basically a tank round, and then switch over to the 30mm. So quite nasty stuff. These ones, similar as to the two S-25s or the Spruts behind you, they are very lightly armored, which means that basically every form of AP weaponry will be able to penetrate. These ones are also quite interesting in that they can carry a limited amount of soldiers, meaning inside these vehicles there can only be up to 5 or 6 troopers or troops. Right. Does anyone have a
4, 5, 6, 7?
7 even?
Sebo?
Yeah.
Can you drop down a BMP3 so you can see the difference?
Yes, will do. Here we go. So here we have the different BMP types. And the furthest one to the right is the BRDM. A little bit taller vehicle. Right. So to our left here, with the big cannons, that's the BMP-3. The one here to the closest to us, or with the one who seems a little bit bigger, that's the BMP-3K, which is the 3K. It is the latest variant, which has more armor and updated electronics, basically a better sights and stuff like that. The one to the left is the more common variant, which is lightly armored and similar to the BMP-2 in the hull, but has the updated turret. And then we have the standardized BMP-2, the 1 second from the left. Right. So, anyone have any questions or something they want to go through again?
No, I would for these.
Yep.
For these ones, I would say the 70 mil is not great if you're in a vehicle, but what you really need to watch out for is the 30 millimeter automatic cannon, because that will fucking shred you to pieces in no time. That's horrible.
By the way, that you can shoot that Toro launcher when killed again.
Yeah.
You've seen that, Sable.
Hmm. I have. Right. So now we're gonna do a little fun thing. So I want everybody to gather up so they can all hear me, and I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. I know it's not super fun, but I did promise the theoretical stuff. You can't hide from me, Mark. Anyway, so when you see BRDMs, what's the biggest probability they will be? What will they be?
Lead scout elements.
Scout elements. Will they be supported?
Negative.
Exactly. And then you have the battalion reconnaissance. They are usually comprised of
medium to heavy.
Precisely.
Army units.
Will they be supported?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Artillery or other means of support.
Where will you usually find tanks?
Flanks.
Flanks and
main roads.
Precisely. Main roads and open areas where tanks shred, but also in the flanks where the enemy is less protected. So, the different types of artillery. What do you do if you see one?
Hit the deck, stay low.
Duck and cover!
Eliminate, destroy, or disable those as quickly and efficiently as possible. At least like a 75% kill or disable rate if able.
Precisely. You can also hurt the artillery pieces immensely by disabling their support trucks, ammo trucks, and fuel trucks. Right.
Sorry. Yeah, I still think it's a good idea to call it in. and then try to exfil or make yourself scarce. But it's great if command knows that there is artillery in the vicinity, because they might want to know that.
We're gonna call in everything basically.
Yeah. If you get here's the thing. If you get in contact, call that in. If you see an enemy, call that in. Call in everything you see that is not you, or stuff like that. Even call in when you're moving through a new town or stuff like that, because it's always good to have an update what's going on. Now you, yep.
Oh, something to remember as far as fixed artillery pieces go. They do have a standardized defensive posture because they are somewhat fixed. The towed artillery specifically, they're going to be covered by machine gun positions and things like that. So it's not just going to be super easy to roll them over, usually.
Exactly. However, Russians, they prefer utilizing vehicles as their means of transport, so that's why we haven't focused on different formation and infantry types. They're very similar to the most Western countries, meaning that you will find a RPG or a AT element, a MG element, and stuff like that in their squads, especially since recently where they've started taking a more Western approach to their military system, utilizing NCOs and stuff. But that's a bit overcourse. And now we're going to move over to more fun things. With the help of your beautiful squad leaders, team leaders, and all of your bright minds together, you guys are going to plan a defense against a brigade reconnaissance company. They will be going through a road, which you will defend, and you will have to act appropriately. Then, after you've disabled these forces, you're to expect what comes afterwards, and therefore adapt to it. You'll have... how long would you need, Saren, to prepare
where are we gonna go?
I'm gonna place that out. I'm gonna place that out. You're gonna be defending a standardized MSR.
Just gonna defend our own, nothing more than that, or
precisely. It's gonna be the MSR between Rodopole and Paros. I will mark that on the map for you to all see. Hopefully this is global. This is the areas I want you guys are gonna defend. I'll teleport you there if you want to, but I'll also let you guys drive there.
In what way do they come?
They will be coming from the west and moving east. How long do you believe you will be able to, or how long do you need to plan a simple defense?
It will take some time because I miss the whole, almost everybody of the leader element in the first squad. Oh, okay. I'll have to do some organizing first.
Yeah.
We got all evening.
Do you think guys we can do enough and all?
Yeah.
There's a shitty terrain to do it in.
I would recommend the bend where the vehicles need to slow down.
Yeah.
Either that or
not
at Hills
fetish or anything, but there's
Hills
also a nice
66.
little ridge there. We can set up a nice little ambush.
Start organizing your squads, and one come to me. Yep.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Okay, we need to find some team leaders there. Somebody has a team lead. I can squad leader, I guess.
Join the.
I am new. I cannot team
or
lead.
join 1-2.
Can I borrow you, King, or now, or?
Fuck you.
Use your standardized
Yeah, I didn't have anybody else.
System.
Hiding behind me, I didn't realize.
Yeah, cool. No, but if King takes over, King takes over the blue team, and then I can take the red team. Then I want the riflemen. That should be Swag and Scuro. You guys are gonna bring AT mines, and you also need to carry some rockets for Kex. So Kex, you need to take Scuro and give him some rockets as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Just I'll get an arsenal here and then just load up extra rockets and ammo and stuff like that.
Okay.
Cool.
Back.
Yeah.
Do you think he will like realize if we just like take one of those tanks?
He will probably not notice. Go for it. See what happens.
Okay. Good. I'll load you up with 2 rockets.
Oh, where?
Where is the radio? Arsenal, sorry.
supposed to be.
Arsenal's incoming, wait one.
There you go. How heavy are you now?
Get on
that was a
the.
force of habit, right? Because
Yeah.
I usually fall back till I have to do it. Cool.
I'm more
Okay,
worried about the
that's good.
casualties
Right on
for
the
it,
limit.
but nah, doesn't fucking
I
matter.
gave you 2 anti-tank, like armor piercing rounds.
No, but we
so
have it's a fairly flat terrain there,
that
so
should
Exactly,
be
we have
okay.
zero cover.
no, but at the bend there, if you
Okay.
see
I have
on
no idea what
on
it
that
looks like
dot
there.
there's a small elevation, probably 3-4
I
meters.
mean, use this curve as basically CCP while the rest of the units are outside defending the perimeter. But we also
Wait.
need retreat points.
Wait. We need to see how it looks like there before we start planning anything. Yeah.
But the L ambush in that bend there, that would be fucking
But give us an
spectacular.
arsenal so we can load up with the AT and stuff. Yeah,
Cool.
okay. Pick it up. Hola. Bring extra ammo for your AT and take some anti-tank mines.
Yeah. What would you think if we
Coxie,
get some static weapons?
mind grabbing a couple of extra sailing
We
bags?
don't travel with static weapons usually, so
Sure.
we're not gonna
Grab
need that.
whatever you can.
What?
Focus on 215,
Why
500,
don't we-
okay?
Let's see.
We just send like 2
What
men.
80 mines do we
Because
want?
we
Any
asked
specific
to defend the
TMA4?
points, and we don't have enough people to
No.
recon.
No, like I'm not saying like they should be like completely like cut off, but like forward observers, then they can fall back and report what they're seeing. Maybe that gives an heads up. Like forward observers, that's more what I meant. I don't know.
M15 maybe?
Yeah.
So we can
Actually,
know what are we expecting.
The whole area here is just open ground, basically, almost, except for the forest there. But I have to look what it looks like when I get there.
Here.
Yeah, don't forget the ditch.
And this it here.
Ditches
and
is unfavorables for us. They
I
have
could only grab
vehicles.
one and then I'm completely overloaded.
Yeah, Swag, follow me and we will pick up the trucks.
I can teleport you all there with the arsenal as well.
Yeah.
You guys want to use this vehicle?
1-1, we're gonna get teleported.
Roger. Me and Swag is picking up the vehicles so we can dump mines in the vehicles.
Okay.
Hello, Hoffman. Welcome to the stream and enjoy. Just doing some regular training.
Oh no.
Scheisse.
Pest. Oh well. Okay then. We have to work with what we have, not what we would like to have.
Alright.
See how it works.
Simple concept.
The AT rounds might fly a bit more flat, so you might get some extra.
Okay, let's have a look at
Extra
the
range.
surrounding
Yeah.
terrain.
Just a
Yeah,
bit better
spread out a
trajectory.
little
I
bit
think the
and
AT
try to
rounds
find
will
something we
be
can use there.
No, there's no elevation in the ground here at all, basically.
This is gonna be a blast, King.
Maybe.
Vehicles are marked on map on Vic marker.
King, should we still put the 80s in the cars and grab more?
Yep.
Copy.
Load up in the right one. I will take the left one and bring 7 in it and we'll go and do a recce.
Copy.
Sarah, where do you go?
I'm coming to your vehicle.
Ryder, jump up into gunner.
Yeah, I'm in. I don't
Okay.
see really much terrain that we can use for our favor here, except for the hill there. It's outside the box.
So here's the bend the guys were talking about earlier, but this is totally flat and suicidal.
Yeah, this is... Here is like death trap. What I think is that we just need to turn around and then maybe we use the box I drew on the map, or maybe we can try and get onto the hills.
Kex reports back.
Close to the town.
Yeah, more to the east.
Yeah. I think that would be better for us, to use the hills there, close to the town instead.
So this is somewhat, not really canalizing terrain, but obscuring terrain at least.
Yeah, let me see when we get to the hill here, if there is anything here we can use. Just give us a few minutes, we're just gonna do a little bit of recon and see what we can use here, Sable. Yeah, I believe the hill and the house there is a pretty good point.
Up on the left, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, because if we don't get the first vehicles, and if they have something big, we can fall back into the town. And then we can use it, if needed be, we can use the town as to channelize the enemy, because they can't really drive the heavy vehicles in there. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this area.
Yeah, because we can stop them here with a mine or something on the road here in the bend, and then we get an AT security team, maybe, I don't know where, maybe behind a wall there that can shoot the last vehicle, and then we have stopped the whole convoy. They can't go back or forward, they have to disembark.
Yeah, you see the rock formation on 4-0 in the distance.
Yeah.
Up there firing, because then we can pull out behind the bushes without getting engaged.
Yeah, we can have the AT there.
Yeah, because the building we're gonna not be able to get out from.
Yeah. I need to spread out the whole platoon then. How many people are we actually today? 11.
Are we doing a platoon movement?
Yeah, everybody is gonna be on this.
Ah. Okay, we will keep pushing. The big L bend is the end of our area, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's make a kill box here then. Let's see. So,
Get inside.
our kill box. Mine.
Hey Sarah, jump up.
I'll just get everybody up here. Let's drive down there and bring everybody up here.
Yes, hang on.
Plan out a little bit.
Let's do the last bit of the recce.
Yeah.
So this is the last part of our area.
Yeah. I guess we'll use the place we saw, basically.
I'm thinking if we have 2 squads, we can do something bounding.
Yeah.
So we have an initial engagement where the Vics are, basically. And then the one squad tries to pull out, and the other one makes a second attack.
Let's stop here for now. Use those, yeah, those rocks there. Let me see.
I just want to recce a low line.
Yeah, sure. I'll just call them up here so they can start mining the road, basically. Okay, Gisela, can you bring the guys down there up to the little kill box I made here and start mining the markers and start setting up on the positions I'm marking out? Yeah, everybody that's down there, basically. Bring them up with the vehicles and make sure that you have extra AT ammo and anti-tank mines.
Alpha 1-1 this.
Say again?
Alpha 1 actual, this is Alpha 1-6.
Yeah, bring everybody up here. Make sure that you have AT,
what's your
mines
status on
and
the
AT
defense?
rockets with you, extra. Yeah. No, let's just go back to the box. I think we should just try to stick together close to in that area somewhere, and then I need to just find positions for the rest of the group basically to stay in. But I would like to have somebody on the hill at least.
Are you talking to me now?
Say again?
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah. We're not enough people to have security teams, so.
Depends on how we execute.
Yeah.
So here's a nice low line that you can retreat over.
Yeah. But now we're right next to our guys. Just go back to the box basically.
Yep. I was thinking we can make like a smaller ambush here and then withdraw with one squad.
Yeah.
So one thing we need to get out now is a warning post to the west. You want to stop here? Okay, push it back.
Just go back to box.
Guys, just bring the vehicle with you.
Alpha 1-6, this is Godfather, radio check.
5x5.
Good check.
Can Siren respond to me?
Jesus Christ, there we go. Sorry, yeah, there's so many long-range radios in the vehicle.
I guess you should be able. Zarenx, respond.
Got him.
I haven't done defenses and ambushes in a while, so I'll try to figure something out.
Can repeat, Sybil.
Wrong channel.
Yep. So yeah, where do we want the warning post, King? Did you see anything good positions?
No, not really. If you're looking at the map right now,
Yeah.
Hill 28, the forest part, then it can withdraw through the low line up to us. Then it should be able to see the bend on all this area.
28, you say?
Yep. Observing down the road.
Can you take one part of the squad, your part of the squad, down there, and then you are the warning post, basically.
Suggest I leave Hannibal here, as he's the CLS.
Yeah, he can join the red team. We can establish a CCP behind that hill there, and then we put one squad up on or the rest of our squad up on the hill there as a stopping team, and then we have 1-2 as the attack team on the right there, close to the rocks we saw earlier.
Yep. I will grab Swag and Coxie.
Yeah, cool. Hannibal, where are you?
Swag and Coxie, get over to me.
Yep, Hannibal, join me. Yeah.
Do you have any mines on you right now?
Yes.
Drop them in on the ground. We're gonna head out. Don't armor them, just drop them.
80 mines, and then
I also
move
have
over
a
to
rocket
Overwatch
if
position
you want it.
and try to set up a defensive fortification there. And
Just drop it here because we won't need it.
you'll work from that area basically.
King. We have 3 more in the car over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be fine. We're gonna grab this car. So Swag and Coxie, you and me, we free. We will be the warning post. So if you look on map, we will move to the area of 1-1 Bravo to the west and see if we can get eyes on the road so we can be early warning.
Okay,
So Coxie, Swag, mount up. Coxie, you drive.
5 marker.
Sarings, do you want one of the vehicles on top of the hill?
Stay clear of the car.
Watch out for moving vehicle.
Yeah, just follow the dirt road to the right.
Let's boogaloo until we queue.
I don't have driving license.
It's fine.
After this house, take a left. Out into the ring.
Snackar vi engelska för vi fan svenska hela bunt.
Ja, nu får det
Det är fan
vara
rätt i.
det här utländska tramset här.
Ja.
Men det är en ganska strategiskt hemsk position det här att göra ett
Ja.
överfall på i och med att terrängen är verkligen arbetar emot oss här.
Ska jag bilen lite gömd där bak?
Ja, men vi ska fram och se att vi kan se överhuvudtaget.
Jajamän. Vi kan gömma den bakom den här kullen. Ja.
Vi har avsittning. Nej, vi har avsittning här. Så målet är att vi ska kunna se så mycket av vägen som möjligt och ändå kunna ta oss härifrån.
Det är väl rätt som möjligt skulle jag vilja säga. Ja, vi har väldigt god sikt.
Ja, men det är jättemycket trän i vägen. Om vi skjuter på någon och så lastar de ur där så kan de typ tömma 5 lastbilar utan att
Vi ska inte skjuta. Vi ger förvarning.
Okej, ja men det är alldeles utmärkt. Här ser vi jättebra ifrån.
Det vi ser där, det är böjen.
2 synluckor i stort sett.
Ja, precis.
Coxie. Jag flyttar bilen.
det någonting man bara klickar på om det typ är, inte escape eller vad fan är det?
Jo, det är väl escape och settings för dig då.
Ja, men det är något annat sånt där som man bara klickar på så kommer upp en liten sån här låda, en liten box med typ jag provar allt möjligt här. Jag klickar på allt. Det var jag. Sorry.
ETA to enemy arrival is 10 minutes approximately. So we need to hurry up with the defensive works on the mountain, and you guys at the warning posts need to be ready.
Warning post is set.
Copy.
Coxy
Try to
swag.
find a way for you to fall back when you have spotted the enemy.
Roger, my battle plan is to wait until you have started engaging them, because then there should be a space between the first platoon and the second platoon that we can pull out without getting engaged on.
Copy that.
Coxy swag, come hit.
Nej, men jag hittade någonting förra gången där jag kunde ändra view distansen så jag kunde öka den. För just nu är den typ på 800 meter.
Grabbar, kom hit.
En gång till.
Kom hit.
Jag hör inte.
Kom hit. Ja.
Du kan se gattet där, så ser du typ en skylt, va?
Jajamän.
Ja, här blir vår OP som inte avslöjar oss när fienden kommer svängas.
Coolt.
Okej. Vill du ha något dike här då?
Ja, jag kan göra.
Sarings for kegs, please come in.
Jag har ju ingen kikare dumt nog, men Coxy, du är ansvarig för att spana på den vägen permanent nu.
Be advised, I fear that the fortifications will
Coxy observerar. Eller jag kan ta den först.
if I still need to have a clear shot onto the kill zone. Over.
Yeah, you can camouflage the entrenchments. Just make the small ones so we can lay down behind them, basically.
Copy that, will do.
Copy.
Så håller en av oss koll på antal.
Scooter, Hannibal, please come to my position. I need some help camouflaging and setting up trenches here.
Ja. Swag, du är ansvarig för vårt närskydd.
Coolt.
Men sagt, det viktiga är, gå inte över höjdkammen här. För de kommer ju komma på vägen där borta. Så stridsplanen här nu är att vi observerar, räknar antalet fordon och typ rapporterar in.
King, did you get the last message on 110 or?
Negativ, not on 110.
Copy. Just switch over to 110 on the alternative channel. But when the first vehicle hits the mine, or when our AT hits the first vehicle, then we start engaging here in the kill box.
Roger.
Om ni räknar fordon så säger jag till att ingen kommer och skjuter er i rumpan medan ni håller på med det.
Det blir perfekt.
Tack.
Och det vi vill veta, det är ju antal och typ. Och sen så ber vi förvarning om det kommer fler efter det.
Okej.
Men har de väl börjat gå i strid så kan vi dra oss ur.
Ja. Ska jag hålla koll på antal och du typ, eller hur vill du?
Ja, det kan vi göra.
Kanske bra att nämna att jag har dyslexi fast med nummer. Så det kanske blir en 3 eller 7, 17 plus liksom.
Kommer pluton rapportera bataljon.
Det är väl vilken minut som helst nu va? Vilka är det som är väster om oss?
Det finns inga väster om oss.
Sable kanske. Det är några på Slitaven.
Ja, det måste ju fan vara Sable och så det är Mark.
Oh dear.
Ja, jag tror att konvojen sprängdes.
Jag älskar AI.
Mm. Ja, jag tycker det är bra. Ja, det finns en till liten lucka här åt höger man kan se på vägen.
King, what's the situation out there?
From King, nothing happens. We can observe by ear a lot of explosions. Assume it's AI fucking up. Over.
Copy that. Kex, if the first vehicle doesn't hit the mine or the mines does not go off, you're gonna engage the target. When you shoot, everybody else is gonna shoot. 1-2 has gotten that message.
Good copy.
One, two. This is 1-6. What's your situation? Is the mines and everything completed and ready?
Yeah, we have the mines set. And you were moving that one Vic. Good. Yeah, we have set up the mines. We've entrenched our 1-2 overwatch, and we put up some trenches so that we have an easier time getting to fallback.
De pratar på det.
Fallback Alpha, now named fallback 1-1.
Yeah, I just made it as basically a fallback point in case of artillery. So, but you should probably consider setting up something that you can take cover in case the artillery comes down.
Good copy.
Yeah, Sarah from King. The explosions, I start to believe they are preparatory indirect fire on suspected locations.
Yeah, I copied. I got the same message from Sable at the moment, so. Swagger hot micing. Swagger hot micing on the radio.
Vad fan? Ja, vänta. Ja, vad fan gör det?
Nej, inte längre.
Jo.
Asirriterande. Sådär.
Swagger hot micing on the radio.
Wow. Hot mic är fortfarande?
Yep.
Yes, I need to use the radio. King, did you receive last message?
Negative, which one?
I just got told by Mission Command that, you're correct with the rocket artillery.
Roger.
This is 1-6, sit rep.
Digging some foxholes in case of the artillery, but otherwise we should be good to go.
Copy that. As you can see on map, CCP position has been marked. If it becomes too overwhelming down there, just fall back to that. If you have casualties, you can fall back to that as well. There is 2 vehicles with 50 cals entrenched facing towards the southwest as well. We can use as defensive position. I'll copy.
Fully copy.
Jag hör ingenting.
Nej, jag tror det var min datorfläkt som körde igång lite snabbare.
Kex, can you go on 110 as alternative channel? And your call sign is gonna be 11 Alpha.
Copy 110, 11 Alpha.
Zarx, be advised, I see multiple vehicles going through the town heading our way. It's like 3 scout cars out.
Copy that. I'm gonna wait for
Redan två,
Bravo
igen.
to report in when they passes them.
From 1 Bravo, 3 times BRDM2 are passing our position now right in the bend, L bend over.
Copy.
Going high speed over.
To all call signs, 3 vehicles been spotted just past the L bend, close to 1-1 Bravo's position. They're on their way into the kill zone now. Out. Okay, everybody stay low. Here at the stop. Okay, fire. All units engage.
Ja, då drar vi.
One, two, are you engaging?
We're engaging 2 vehicles past.
Copy.
Här någonstans. 1-1 Bravo is pulling out.
Our AT is down. Hannibal,
Ja.
can you get up?
Så att... Jag ska bara köra lite längre runt tillbaka dit vi kom ifrån eller?
Ja, precis. Sen så upp till CSFK.
Jajamän.
Okej, så nu hotmikar han inte längre. Fan, det tog typ 5 minuter och...
1-2, this is 1-1. We lost our AT. Can you take care of those 2 vehicles?
Satte upp på första taget.
So copy, we're gonna head and take one of the vehicles from the CCP and run around and see if we can find him.
They're inside the kill box, just behind the house.
Det är som är problemet. Okej, vad gör vi nu?
Okay, copy.
He's coming towards your position now. He's on the concrete house. 1-1 Bravo, be advised, enemy contacts close to concrete house between us and 1-2.
Roger, 1-1 Bravo is hitting CCP right now, over.
Copy that, yeah. 1-1 Bravo, just fall back to CCP and try to reorganize yourself your way up here to my location.
Jag styr upp höger. Se om vi kan understödja.
Ja.
1-2, this is 1-1, enemy vehicle moving towards your position.
Sakta ner. Skytten leder.
Är redo?
Infantry front.
Bäring 275. Andra sidan kullen.
Se till om jag ska fortsätta.
Ja, framåt. Jag ser ingenting här. Jag kan inte dumpa pipan så djupt som behövs här. Det är ingenting.
Handball to Zarx message.
Sväng höger lite grann så vi kommer upp över kullen där.
This is Arings.
Be advised, I'm taking one of them wraps and using
One of the vehicles taken care of.
Hard copy.
Copy.
Okej, backa ner så kör vi runt. Kör runt höger. Bara sväng runt kullen. Följ vägkanten.
Jaha, aj då.
Definiera aj då.
Rakt fram, BRD, swag. Ja, swag är nere för fan. Då backar vi.
Fan, kan inte jag ta över hans plats?
Nej, det är jätteefterblivet. Nu är den död, tror jag. Ja. Men då ska han in i CCP.
1-2, this is 1-6. Just head back to your original position.
Yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah. 1-1 Bravo, sit rep.
From 1 Bravo, try to engage BRDM. Have lost Gunner, taking care of him right now, over. At CCP, over now.
Is inside the CCP point in one of those vehicles. He's currently working on Kex. Just load him in that vehicle.
Roger out. Roxy. Ja, du har redan gjort det. Snyggt.
Men fan, okej. Ja, nu är du vaken. Hej, hej.
Och healad.
Blev du skjuten i pallet?
He's just been healed by Zeus.
Ska vi in i bilen igen?
Nej, vi väntar så han säger. 1-6 from 1 Bravo, sit rep over.
Såg den här komma över krönet och insåg att nu blir det jobbigt och så mycket riktigt bara, ja då.
Nej, vi kör vidare. Hoppa in.
Det är ju synd att man inte kan välja ammunition så man kan ha den där multipurpose. Samma som förut, följa vägkanten.
Ja, nu sitter jag på fel plats så jag ser inte så mycket. Men följ vägkanten. Snett höger om utbrunna raket.
Jajamän. Du borde väl kunna hoppa fram i Ace interact.
We have 1-2 has audible, possibly on vehicle approaching.
1-1 Bravo is approaching in a vehicle.
Har du ögonproppar i?
Minskat i halt.
Ska vi fortsätta framåt eller?
Vi har inga egna här framme, man kan se.
Har vi bekräftat att den här byggnaden är nu cleared?
Nej. 1-6, 1-6.
1-1 Bravo, take up position with 1-1 Alpha. Yeah. We have new vehicles coming in 10 minutes.
Roger, you want us to take up the old warning location, or you join up with 1-1?
Negative, join up with 1-1. Try to find a better position or entrench, improve the entrenchments we already have. There is also a resupply crate here as well.
Okej, kör tillbaka till CCP. Resupply crate at the CCP, over.
Negative, at 1-1 overwatch position.
Up on the hill, over.
Yes, that's correct.
Kör till edit, över.
1-2, this is 1-6.
This is 1-2, send message.
Till 1-1 overwatch.
He can resupply with rockets here at 1-1 overwatch position. Next time, the next wave comes in roughly 8 minutes, and you are free to shoot when our AT has taken out the first vehicle in the convoy. We're going to try to stop them earlier, so you can work from your position.
Solid copy. We also had artillery landing to our
Nej,
west,
backa ner dem.
roughly 1
Vi kan ju hoppa ut så länge.
Copy that.
Swag, hoppa ut. Så fort vi hoppat ut så kör parkera bilen, Coxy. Swag och Coxy, så fort ni är närmare fordonet, greppa P-skott.
Copy, copy.
Yes. You're free to shoot the vehicles when they're between those three triangles, okay? Yep. This is the current position we have right now. You can try to make it better or improve it, or just try to find another position on this hill where you can work from, basically.
Yep.
This time we're gonna stop the vehicles earlier. We're gonna stop them inside the triangle there with the 3 signs, basically. So everybody should be able to take it this time. Kex, don't wander off too far, yeah. But you can set up here, yeah. Yeah. Just try to keep Scuto with you. Yeah, just set up a double trench.
Det är sådana där små detaljer som man liksom...
Ja, man glömmer ju skiten.
Ja.
Lite
Okej,
mer...
vart vill
Jag
du
vill
vara?
inte vara här.
Nej.
Nej, det här är... Fjärran från idealiskt, som vi säger.
Fast här nere är 1-2.
Lite värn här och där kanske.
And 1-6, this is 1-2.
This is 1-6, go ahead.
We're still green on AT, gonna resupply one disposable, and I'm gonna spread a bit northwest and pick up a secondary position for 2-man team to see if we can see further to the back of the enemies.
Grejen var att när vi rekade så såg vi ett par stenhögar på den här sidan vägen som vi skulle använda. Så jag fattar inte varför jag flyttat på oss. Och här där 1-2 är, här är det ju bra. Det var här jag ville vara från början.
Har vi något att falla tillbaka mot om de rushar oss?
Ja, det är ditåt. Så jag bara pekar. Ditåt typ.
Ja, ska jag sätta upp ett värn till mellan muren och här då? Så vi har någonting att pila mot.
Hey, Cs.
Yeah.
So 1-2 is located here. Is located here.
Yeah.
Roger. Så 1-2 är där jag vill vara. Det vi kan göra är att sätta upp flankskydd här förbi brända BRDMen. Och eld mot vägen.
Det känns som att de kommer köra upp här och försöka spränga våra bilar.
Mm.
Jag undrar om det kommer lite mer artilleri nu.
Hoppas inte det, för det är precis ingenting vi kan göra åt det. Så det
Nej, men vi gräver värn här rakt över. Eld mot vägslutet där 1-2 är nu.
Ja.
Behöver vi skjuta mot fordonen så antar jag att 1-2 inte lever eller inte är kvar längre. Men då har vi ett avstånd på, vad kan det vara, 100 meter bort.
Jag smäller upp ett vehicle trencher.
Ja, 100 meter till GG-skytten där. Saren from King. 1-1 Bravo is deploying northwest of your position 100 meters. We're covering the roads to protect the CCP because 1-2 are in a position I want to be in. So we don't have a purpose on being on the hill either. So we're defending the CCP.
Okay. You can use the vehicles if you want as well to make the better defense if you see any work in it.
Roger, new marker on map where my unit is located. I don't think we're gonna need 50 cals. Our 84s or better AT weapons.
Copy that.
Men det betyder ju att om de kommer upp hit så har någonting gått fruktansvärt fel, alltså, helt enkelt.
Ja. Och det händer ganska ofta.
Try to make it so that if artillery falls down it's safe for you.
Ja.
A-firm.
Var generösa med värnen här.
Stiger väl. Jag gräver lite av ett skydd från sidan här ifall de lyckas köra förbi.
Också, för det känns verkligen som det skulle vara jävligt trevligt att ha här.
Kör ett litet mellanrum här. Ska vi ha något fordonsstopp mitt på vägen eller?
Nej, vi vill ju kunna använda... Nej, det kan vi fan göra. Vi kommer inte köra ut här igen.
Eftersom att de kommer köra ganska snabbt troligtvis så räcker det väl med något litet.
Ja.
Okej, jag är halvvägs till dem om vi kan.
1-2, this is 1-6.
West.
1-2 is posted up on 1-2 Overwatch, and with the 1-2's lead element a bit further up to the northwest, and we're watching down the road. We can see about 600, 700, 800 meters down the road. Also, we just spotted a frogfoot that carpet bombed to our west.
Copy that.
Uh, 1-6, this is 1-2. We have eyes on where the power line intersects the road. We're gonna call it out once we see enemy crossing that line.
1-6 copies. Also be aware of artillery. It might be a creeping barrage, so be ready to take over.
Yep, that's a solid.
Så, det här räcker.
1-1 Alpha. Did you get the message of 110?
Hallå.
Eller? Jag tror det här borde vara bra ju. Och sen så har vi... Jag tar ett till här ifall du behöver stänga för livet upp till bilarna. Så ser vi tar ett litet här typ.
From 1 Bravo is to confirm we have eyes on the vehicles over.
You have eyes on enemy vehicles or our vehicles?
Negative, that was a question. Did we have eyes? I thought I heard 1-2 reporting something before. Over.
Negative, no eyes on the vehicle, just a plane that flew in from west towards north and dropped bombs approximately 2 kilometers south from our location.
Roger out.
Okej, sådär. Nu kan vi
Ja.
pila och springa och skrika i panik om de skulle ruscha oss här. Det är bra.
Perfekt.
Ja, grabbar. Ja. Åsa 1 för oss. Det är CCPn med fordonen vid vita byggnaden. Så bajsar det ur sig så drar vi oss till vita byggnaden så står det ett fordon. Den hoppar vi upp i och bekämpar fienden med.
Okej. Sa du först? Rosa 1?
Åsa 1.
Ursäkta för oljudet här, det är tåget. Spela kväll.
Jag hörde fortfarande inte vad du sa.
Åsa 1. Återsamlingsplats efter anfall.
Ah. Det är sånt där jag inte kan.
Nu kan du.
Nu kan jag.
Så.
100 meter kanske är en bra inställning.
Den är på 50, hur rangear jag upp? Är det page up?
Page up.
Ingenting händer.
Det var inget bra.
Nej. Kanske shift page up. Page down. Nej, okej.
Jag undrar om min backblast kom... Nej, det var det inte.
Den borde vara bra.
Nej, den borde vara lugn.
Ska vi spara in i det sista då?
Ja, vi är ju i flankskyddet. Så när de kommer upp på den här vägen och vi ser att ett för Bravo är nedkämpad, då öppnar vi eld.
Okidok.
Eller att ett för Bravo sitter i skitläge, typ att GG-skytten ligger ner och kan inte göra någonting.
I det här fallet betyder nedkämpade friterade.
Jopp.
Rysk vapenolja. Ja, hur går det för er på aktiemarknaden om ni har någonting?
Har ingenting.
This is 1-6 to all call signs. Enemy mechanized element spotted on the road west heading towards our location. 5 minutes out.
5 minuter kvar.
Ja.
1-2 copies.
Jag vet inte, jag jobbar inom IT så jag är...
Bra kompis.
Jag är nörd.
Men du är ju chef och har assistent och grejer.
Ja.
Ja.
Men det är för att jag...
1-1 Alpha does not copy, please say again.
You have an enemy mechanized element heading towards our position, roughly 4 minutes out, coming from west.
Nej, här har vi... Här verkar jag...
Okej, 1-1 Alpha copies.
Liksom riktigt om det här coronan, för de som är smittade av coronaviruset, de sitter numera i husarrest eller...
De sitter i gula lag.
Ja, faktiskt.
Kontakt BMP2. 1-1 Bravo got visual on BMP2 with one guy on the roof. Correct. 2 BMP2s leaving the town. Over.
Ja, det borde de ju klara, tycker man.
Copy that. Yeah, 116 copies. This is 1-6 to all call signs. 2 enemy BMP2s spotted. Infantry is mounted on it. Outside and inside, it looks like they're heading to our location. Roughly 1 minute out. Prepare.
From 1-1 Bravo, correct number is 3 BMP2s. Over.
Copy that. Correction, 3 enemy BMP2s. 1-1 Alpha is going to take out the first one inside the box, the new box I made inside our kill zone. 1-2 try to take out the second or the third one.
Vad är avståndet till vägen där borta?
1-1 Alpha copies.
Till asfaltvägen.
Ja, eller huvudvägen.
350 meter.
Okej. Nu kommer de. Det blir kul. Ja.
All call signs, prepare.
Första.
Open fire.
Andra.
This is 1-6, 1-1 Alpha missed on the first rocket. 1-2 try to take out the first vehicle.
Och sista kommer där.
First vehicle taken out.
I helvete, var det där?
Det var nog från brisanerna.
Our AT is down, you need to try to take out the last vehicle as well.
Copy. Okay, their 1-1's AT is down. Let's try and take out the rest of them. Once the last one's operational, we'll see if we can try and help you take it out.
Scuro, is Keck still up or is he down?
He's down.
Take up his AT and shoot that last BMP.
Roger.
Ja, jag ser det.
350 meter eld.
350. Missar. Inte bra.
1-6 to all call signs, 3 vehicles taken out. 1-1 Bravo, try to support our medic and try to get Kex to the CCP.
Where's the medic over?
Medic is currently at 1-1 Alpha position, he's carrying the wounded over to you.
Roger, out. Okej, då sticker vi. Vi ska hjälpa Hannibal.
1-2, this is 1-6. Try and resupply, and then try to put out some new mines on the road.
Hey Hannibal.
Yo, I have a vehicle over here.
Yeah, do you need any help?
Yeah, I'm driving.
Infantry coming down the road.
Infantry coming down the road.
Past the power line.
Repeat.
Infantry moving in from the west along the main road.
Coxley, get back to...
can you come up to 1-1 Alpha position? Take
come back up to 1 Alpha. No, Coxley, drive him down first, then come back up.
Main position.
Swag, follow me.
Earlier and take up position.
1-1 Bravo is joining up with 1-1.
One Bravo, did you hear the message from 110?
I don't hear 110, I don't know why. I have it on an additional.
Okay, we have infantry pushing up the road. So they're gonna be around the bend here soon. According to 1-1-2. They said only infantry, nothing more. So
Roger.
Eyes on.
Yeah.
Contact behind the burning vehicle to the far west.
Yeah. Let's let them come a little bit closer. If they open fire, you can open fire.
Copy, copy.
Yeah.
Both sides of the road though.
Yeah.
1-2, this is 1-6. We have eyes on infantry roughly outside our kill box towards the west. You're free to engage whenever.
Why isn't my bipod working?
Infantry to the west.
Copy that. If you can fight them, fight them. If you can't, pull back. This is 1-6, sit drop.
1-2 is currently on marker 1-2 Overwatch, fighting infantry west and southwest.
Copy that. If you need the vehicles, you can use them as base of fire.
That we're a bit low on manpower, so we might be better off if we can try and direct the vehicles if someone else mans them.
Copy that.
Hannibal to Zarang's message.
Go ahead.
Be advised, Kex is up, however, he is AFK. How copy?
Zarang's copies. You can bring up one of the vehicles so we can use them as a base of fire if you have the possibility to.
That's assault already on it out.
Copy. Just try to stay a little bit behind the infantry so if it blows up, we're not gonna die.
Good to go and man the 50 cal. Good. Yeah. Vehicle behind us. Take another vehicle and bring it up, Scuto, and use that 50 cal. Yeah. Down to CCP towards northeast.
Okay, 1-6, this is 1-2. Can you get some suppressive fire to our positions relative west and northwest? And then we'll send a two-man team to resupply AT.
Copy that. You want the suppressive fire towards the northwest, correct? In the forest.
KX is back.
Copy that. Just resupply KX and come to the forward position again.
Will do.
Jesus Christ, I'm not good at this.
Time to hunker down.
Yeah, just hunker down a little bit. Artillery's coming our way. Yeah.
You're good now. Thank you. No problem.
Copy that. You want us to fall back to a new position. We are allowed to use the town, correct? Copy that. Okay, this is 1-6 to all call signs. Mount up. We have to move back to the town and set up a new defensive position inside the town. Enemy forces is roughly 10 minutes out, and there are most likely artillery this position. How copy?
One more copy is Coxie swag on me. Coxie, vilket är vårt fordon?
Resupply. Bring mines and AT and everything. I'm marking new kill boxes inside Paros.
Som jag gick förbi.
Jaha.
För de flyttar på det. Men ska vi ta ett annat?
Ja, vi tar det så stämmer rövarna borta.
Ja. Man ska inte röra på saker som inte tillhör en.
1-2 is heading up to the hill.
Helt riktigt. Är det inte ditt så ska du inte hålla på och fippla med. Ta bort ifrån den här kullen där ute.
Ja, det här var ju bara en 240. Helt klart inte vår.
Ja, nej.
Yes it. Ja, men då.
One Bravo's mounted.
Copy that. Drive to your new location in the town. If that building is not good, try to find other locations for the rest of the unit when we come in.
Roger out. Ta höger på vägen här.
Och se den vänster.
Ja. Vänster in bakom här. Ja, in bakom här så kan man bilen.
Ja, det är väl in här va?
Ja, låt bara hoppa ut så vi kan reka och se terrängen.
1-2, you need to get the hurry on. We need to get to the town now. There is one vehicle behind your location and one down at the CCP.
Det här funkar faktiskt jävligt bra. Swag, kom hit här med p-skott.
Do you copy 1-2?
Med p-skott L mot vägen. Precis bakom busken. Du är vårt närförsvar just nu. Så p-skott färdiga, rikta mot vägen. Se här, se. Kan man få dem komma in här? Coxie. Gräv ett värn här emellan. Så att fordon inte kan komma upp i flanken på oss. Yeah, so this is a pretty good place. AT weapon here, flanking fire on the target. So we will need to set up mines at the Blue King. I'm having Coxie digging off the road up here, so the enemy can't flank us with vehicles.
Yeah, 1-1 Alpha Kex is gonna be up the road here and take out the first vehicle.
Here?
On the marker, basically.
What's 20 over?
towards the northeast.
Okay, so they will take out the first one.
Yes, they will stop them. Then you guys just do the flanking fire, and then 1-2 is gonna set up. Yeah, probably where Cox is right now in the buildings or something, or on the opposite side of the road.
So 1-1 is going to shoot a frontal fire on the approaching enemy.
Yeah, just to stop the first vehicle.
Once you're
Right.
in the town, please relocate to the position 1-1 Alpha marked on map.
Cooksy, is it complete?
Affirmative.
70%.
Target.
With an enemy helo, possibly enemy helo moving over. An MIA or something.
Copy that 1-2. Try to find a position, either on your marker or somewhere else, basically.
Ja, följ mig.
Just as long as you stay on this side of the road, basically.
So, Cooksy. Basically, 1-1 Alpha kommer att inleda 11-fallet om vänster om vår nuvarande position längst upp med vägen. Därefter kommer vi skjuta flankerande på det som finns framför oss. Så du har tagit nytt p-skott. Bra. Jag har ett nytt p-skott. Så Swag och Coxy, ni två kommer vara de första skyttarna på flanken. Flankerade elden här. Jag kommer att ha reserv p-skott och skjuta om det behövs.
Be advised, all call signs, enemy helicopter spotted, transport helicopter heading east.
Jag kommer ge eld på min order. För det kommer bero på hur fan det spelar ut sig med 1-1 Alpha och 1-2.
Jag har fortfarande en raket till ifall han Kex vill ha en extra raket. Jag vet inte hur jag kan kommunicera det, för jag vill inte gå härifrån, för det är jättemysigt att sitta här bakom och sikta med den här raketen. Man får säga till om man behöver någon mer raketer.
Ja.
Coxy, varför håller du på och gräver där i marken för?
We built the city.
Är det guerrilla gardening? Är det vegan-trams?
Okej, jag såg just en snubbe armera en mina på vägen framför oss höger om Blue King.
Pull the vehicle behind this wall to your right.
This is 1-6 all call signs, enemies approximately 3 minutes out. They're at their old,
3 minuter kvar.
they're at the bend close to the old 1-1 Bravo position.
Lite längre bak kanske, eller?
Nej, men ett Alpha ska inleda anfallet, eller 11-fallet till öst om oss. Nej, skit i det, vi har inte tid till det nu. Utan det viktiga är att Swag och Coxy, ni håller er typ här inne och gömmer er tills 1-1 Alpha har fått skjut för skottet. Sen går vi fram och ser om vi har mål att skjuta på.
Det är bra. Jag tycker det är bra.
Jag kommer framförallt hålla ögonen mot där du gräver ditt värn, så inte de flankerar oss med infanteri.
Ja, nu blir det miner lagt på vägen.
Scudo, please mark your position on the map as well.
Ja.
Just a dot.
Det är kämpegöj.
Kämpegöj. Jag må ta mig en paus efter det här.
Fisk. Lax. Fisk.
Jag vill inte få skoja om laxen, vet du fan. När man bor här mitt i jävla Europa utan en där hav eller floden finns det, så fuck vad jag saknar fisken. Alltså shit.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Det var bara jävla kyckling och gris överallt. Ingen jävla fisk någonstans. Fucking omöjligt att hitta.
Jag kommer flytta fordonet. Ni kvar stanna här, jag kommer snart.
Go ahead.
1-2, this is 1-6. Have you found a suitable location?
Your CCP
Close
location.
to your marker.
Zerungs assigned it to me. I have no say in that.
Okay.
Still slightly working on it. We have not terribly good eyes. Might have one possibly here.
Copy that. Sorry, copy that. As long as you have eyes inside the kill
Whatever.
box I made here. You should be fine.
Fordonet står bakom första krönet vänster, 20 meter.
If you can't
Det är då även Åsa 1. Så då vi samlas vi till fornet som är bakom kröken vänster.
Yeah, we'll see. We might have a decent building here and we have another one that's
Ja, du ser skylten för återvändsgränd. In på den vägen.
Kaffekopp.
Copy. No, I'm talking on the radio. Yeah.
1-6, 1 Bravo is set.
Copy that. 1-2 is saying that they found a decent building to stay in, so they're also set. And 1-1 Alpha, you're also set, right?
Yes, 1-1 Alpha is set.
Jag hör fordon. Det måste ha eget bakom oss.
Din snubbe gungar fram och tillbaka som han har så jävla PTSD som...
This is 1-6 to all call signs audibles on vehicles coming from the north of the town. Do you guys also hear it?
1-2 has audible.
Copy that. 1-2 fall back to my location. 1-1 Bravo or set up a runway in the CCP building.
BTR bakom oss.
Look towards the northwest.
BTR to the north, on the road.
1-1 Bravo, we have infantry dismounting to our northwest. Try to set up in a building or a vehicle and take care of it.
Don't you worry about the BTR.
I won't BTR on me. Northwest.
Jag hör någonting komma upp på vägen.
Helvetes jävla shit.
Klar bak. Ja, eller på, den är kämpat. From 1-1 Bravo, one time BTR 82 destroyed over.
Copy that.
Coxy, kolla i bilen om det finns fler PS-skott där.
Try to clear out zone 1 marked on map. How copy? 1-1 try to meet up.
1-2 will be
1-1 Alpha
clearing
try
sector
to
1. Good
meet
copy.
up with 1-1 Bravo. We're gonna clear zone 2.
1-1 Alpha copy, trying to meet up with 1-1 Bravo to clear zone 2. I've just had to check on
BTR
my
coming in
map.
south to east. Be careful.
Copy that.
This is good to my AMRAP is fucked
BTR
up
coming in
engine
on the road south. How copy?
Scuro, additionally, AMRAP get out. We'll have to meet up with 1-1-2.
Nice. 1-2 har precis förstört en BTR 82 på vägen nedanför oss. Jag är träffad.
1-1 Bravo. 1-2 has been sent out to clear the zone behind us, so to make sure that there's nobody coming behind us. We're gonna take care of the south now. One copy.
1 copies.
Okay, 1-1 Alpha, follow me down to the east. We're gonna take over a building here.
Alpha.
Okay, yeah, I see you on the map. I'm gonna mark a new location.
Okej, jag bandagerar lite för jag är fucking...
Ja. (1-6 from 1-1 Bravo. It is my estimate that we have destroyed 2 times BTR 82. Is that correct, over?
That's correct. Yeah, go ahead, 1-2.
This is good to really bad.
We have entered sector 1 and
I'm
we're
trying
proceeding
to
to
make your
clear
way to
it.
the CCP. I'm gonna be there in 10 seconds out.
Copy.
Roger.
Men nu ser vet du, med lite målfilm och grejer här vet du, nu är man ju...
Yeah, 1-1 Alpha, just fall back to the CCP. Let's try to hold up here. We have infantry.
BTR bakom, spring!
Taking them out continuously.
From 1-1 Bravo, BTR 82 in our rear. Wait out.
Copy. One Alpha, BTR south.
Hmm?
Up your AT. I need to try and pull out 1-2. No, I need to try to pull out 1-1 Bravo. One, two, this is 1-1. We are overrun here at my location. Currently falling back.
This is 1-2 Bravo to 1-6. Schultz on 110, radio check. Schultz on 100, radio check.
And there I died.
The lucky rocket, the one I have been carrying for you for an hour now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Holy shit.
I
No,
never got
it's
to use
fine.
it anyways because I always died after I fired my shot, like instantly.
No. Yeah, no, so it's we have to expect the unexpected, of course. But if the information we can only act on the information we have and make assumptions and estimate and guesstimate. But still, if they chose to go full fucking invasion on us, then it's not much we can do really.
Just
Except
shoot ourselves.
die.
Hop into our MRAPs and just drive away.
Yeah, Kex, you're actually right.
Yeah, I was thinking about it when Rico came behind, but then I didn't know if the rest was coming from the rear, so I sent 1-2 to check it out.
Yeah, that was why I asked you how many we had destroyed, and you said 2. I was just about to say, then there should be a third one up close here, when we suddenly hear a BTR in the rear. Well, turn around, fuck, here it is.
Yeah,
But
I heard. I got explained that they were following the main road, so I didn't think as far as, oh, they can deviate and take another road. But yeah, I'll remember it next time, I guess. But I'm not good at delay and fight, so
I
never
just
been
pulled out
either.
the shot and that fucking BTR just ass raped me with a
Don't shoot.
yeah, but Swag, you were standing next to a wall as well. That doesn't help.
Yeah,
I think we need
that was my bad.
I think we need to have like a delay and fight training or something.
Hannibal dead.
Yeah.
No, I was teleported.
No, he's not dead. He's just resting. He's fine.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
That was
But Saren, where did you go?
Yeah,
in a vehicle. He
I'm
died.
over here.
Jesus, I was jumping around. Key factors is when we start to open fire, within 1 minute we need to start moving. Even if we are defending, we need to be mobile in the defense. So engage 1 or 2 targets, and then just get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that on up on the hills as well. We were static way too long. Just because we are defending doesn't mean we need to be a static defense.
Yeah.
No, we lose the initiative if we remain static like that, because they will just throw in more and more shit at us, and then we will just run out of ammo and bandages and then die.
Yeah, normally when we do this in real life, we have as a ground rule, in 5 minutes from the first round is shot, you're supposed to be 500 meters out. That's the only way to be sure that you're not going to be hit by artillery.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Oh, it would be helpful if you had one of those trainings. I need to definitely learn up again on that thing.
Did me so good.
Yeah, well, this is a good start, because it was very similar to delaying action, but we were defending.
Yeah.
So we just said we need to defend in depth, so we can keep mobile. Another key importance is that time. We need the time to prepare, so we can have an alternate, it's called secondary battle position, not alternate, secondary battle position.
I wanted to mark it. I wanted to look more, but I had to manage like both the squads as well, and I didn't really have much time to do planning.
No, that's a key. When you do delay missions, you need to have time to recon where you're gonna delaying and how. If you don't have time, then you're gonna be really fucked. Then you're gonna be improvising.
I actually wanted to segment like the whole thing, and then we ended up here, but yeah, I don't know.
No, but based on the resources you had and the information you had, I mean, we can only act on that, and I think that was perfectly acceptable. But we learn from our mistakes and we build on it. That's how we work.
Yeah, this was a good mission because it brought in several key points.
Yeah.
So, for example, don't engage from the front. Like now, when one alpha is supposed to initiate bad engagement.
Yeah.
If we do it from the front, that means there's a big chance that there are thermals with spotters before we can engage.
Yeah.
And we will have like a duel instead of us opening up. So the initiating squad can do a flanking fire as well. Just need that we need to delay them with either mines or do an obstacle or pull out an old civilian car that slows them down. Then we can initiate the contact because AI is also moving quickly.
Didn't you attend like 14 of these ambush trainings that I held earlier?
Yeah, but I've been sick for over a year and I'm on drugs, so I haven't really done anything of any trainings.
No, but because any kind of vehicle is strongest from the front, so you never want to engage it there. Just hit it from the side, make sure they stop or slow down, like in a bend or something, and then make sure you have you fucking kill them as much as you can, and then do whatever you want to do, and then haul ass out of there to your first and second fallback point.
Basically, King, this is basically what is this what you meant? Like, basically, you engage here in the first box, and then when you've done that, you move to the next, right?
Oh, we're on the map.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Paros. So this is the first box here, where FP Charlie is. You would shoot there, and then you would fall back to the next, and then go back to the next, and then.
Yeah, and this is a pretty tight area. But for example, let's say we initiated the first contact here with 1-1. Then the enemy will react to that and start pushing, and when that's clear, they will start pushing on. Then 1-2 might be here and initiate a new contact. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And then maybe 1-1-1 will be maybe back here initiating a last one. Or you just have like 1 initiate, then pull out, 1, 2 initiate and pull out, and then you just get the fuck out.
Okay.
Depending on if we're doing delaying action or if we are actually defending in depth.
Could you write like a training on that so we can hold that? I really need it.
Yeah, we can do it for like squad leads, team leads, or whatever.
Yeah, it would be really nice.
Yeah, because there are quite a few steps you need to consider.
It would actually be fairly fun for everyone to learn this because the tactics and logics behind this is incredibly useful for everyone to know and practice. So I would recommend it for everyone.
I would like to do it in a 2-stage phase, really. First you have one in the team leads so we can talk more. Just go around talking, making examples, and then like the next Friday you do it with a troop so they get to learn the same thing. But then the squad leaders already know what they're supposed to be doing. I just heard a grenade.
Oh, fuck me.
Your platoon lead tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I haven't really thought so much about it.
Oh.
Okay, but yeah, since I'm not going to have any
Platoon,
helicopter
du menar
or
alltså
anything,
precis som
only
i
a
svenska
drone tomorrow,
värnplikten
do you
när...
want me to be attached
Kom Swag.
close to
Yeah,
you, or do
you can
want me
follow.
to...
You can follow me.
Kom hit.
We just set up
Som Pablo sökte borta.
basically. And then we can
Så du menar alltså som i svenska armén, när GB-arna då till exempel, som jag då, när jag var GB, då ryckte jag in 2,5 månader innan de värnpliktiga och lärde mig utrustningen i hela gruppen alltså, och allting. Och,
1 sec. Ja, men just det, alltså det är ganska teoritungt ämne. Så först drar vi igenom det med gruppcheferna så de kan stå och prata och så vidare. Och sen när alla gruppchefer vet vad vi ska syssla med, då gör vi det även med truppen. För de kommer i sin tur ha en jävla massa funderingar och då kan gruppcheferna stötta. Ja. Det är vitala ämnen som pratas.
Right. Squad-wise, line up, look proper, whatever.
Did we line up next to Hannibal here?
What's wrong with Hannibal?
Yeah, Hannibal, you
No. It's just that I will be able to differentiate the two of you. But
you're getting an L shape.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I said just squat up, whatever. Anyway, like, oh my god, the training itself. So I know we started off with a theoretical end, and we went through a couple of the stuff. The BRDM, we went through the battalion reconnaissance, which was the BMPs, and then came the what I believed to be way too powerful BTRs. I was weird. Anyway, so the initial part, we had 1-2 Bravo or 1-1 Bravo, correct? That was your designation. The guys who were basically laying a little bit further ahead, calling in when the enemy troops were within reach.
Yeah, the warning post.
Yeah, that 1-1 Bravo.
Good job placing out and utilizing the terrain, especially placing somebody a little bit ahead to be able to spot where the enemies are coming from. Now, this was kind of stupid that we all knew that the enemy was going to come along the road, but it was a good warning nonetheless. Utilized the terrain and you scouted out the terrain, which was beautifully made, even though you guys were kind of short on time. On my end, I would have recommended if you, I don't know if you did this, but if you delegated some work for the squads, like whilst you guys were preparing, one squad could have placed down mines further down the road, etc., etc. But anyway, initial contact came in the shape of artillery. As I said before, most units aren't moving too far ahead of their artillery forces except the brigade reconnaissance units. This was to simulate the kind of like the impending movement of the brigade itself. Just there for aesthetics, more or less. You handled the BRDMs well, I would say. And once they were neutralized, you got 10 minutes until the next couple of guys came, which was the BMT 2Ks. Of which the work of dealing with them went extremely much very much faster. So, Saren, would you mind telling me why that happened faster? Was it because of the positioning or that the squads were more...
I mean, the positioning from 1-2 was good because we lost our AT after the first rocket was shot on the hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much it was just luck, basically.
I think it was because they were moving a bit slower and they were making so much noise
even when we lost the last one at first because they popped the smoke, but then because we could still hear it, we were able to hit it and locate it.
Yeah. Good. No, I just wanted to know. Then you had the infantry who were dropped off a little bit earlier, who came running. How did that create? Did that create another hassle, or?
I think we dealt with the infantry pretty well.
I think our defensive positions that we had for 1-2 were in a good blocking position, so their flank with their infantry was not really all that effective.
And the early warning.
Yeah, Mello managed to spot them like 600-700 meters out, so we had that advantage. Though we didn't see the ones flanking from the west, but I mean, we knew there was infantry, so
yeah,
that
it was good enough.
You dealt with that perfectly fine. And when you guys noticed that after the infantry had been neutralized and after the BMPs, the artillery started coming closer. That was on my end supposed to be a form of hint to maybe start falling back. Because when you're dealing with especially a conventional enemy, you don't want to be on the same position for way too long. So you kind of wanted to start moving, which you did. You moved down to the town, which initially turned out to be an advantage against the first couple of BMPs or BTRs, and then it went kind of hazy. But that's besides the point. Overall, I think you guys did really well, especially with the squads moving between so many different positions. Even though it wasn't through a vast area, it was still moving around, not keeping yourself way too stationed. And that is a perfect way to deal with a more, in this case, a superior foe. Right. I heard you guys talking more or reflecting on things as a whole when you were standing here during the ending. Would you mind sharing what you guys thought or had to say?
Yeah, we need a delay and fight training.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have forgotten everything about that part. Most of it, at least.
Good thing that I work with that.
Delay and fight, yeah.
Anyone else?
I have a couple of documents on ambush trainings if anyone would be interested in reading them.
It would be interesting. We could send them over to me and we will go through them.
Cool.
I do some changes.
Skicka till mig också.
Right. I have nothing else to say, but I'm open for criticism. If there's anything you feel like I've missed or something that I should add for the future. I know the ending part went, as I said, kind of too extreme. Didn't expect the BTRs to be that armored. But other than that, if you have anything to say it now, message me later.
Say about that one.
What?
I had one point.
Yeah, go.
On the identification part of the artillery, we had the 2S1, the normal artillery piece, on tracks. That's a 122mm artillery piece that's belonged to the battalions. So a good point could be to have a 152. I don't forget the number about it, 2S19, whatever they are.
Yeah, 2S19.
Yeah, and to show the difference how they look, because the 122 is pretty much a mortar on tracks. Because if you see the smaller one, 2S1, that means that it's just regular battalion units. If you see the 152mm, you know you're looking at brigade assets like the BM21. So you learn to differentiate between them and what they mean. Because if you see brigade assets, then you know you are on the wrong road. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'll actually place a couple of them down here. We have the 2S1. This motherfucker. Oh, wait.
That
here we go. 2S1 and 2S3M1.
That rings a bell. Yep, there it is.
That's really Russian. That's a howitzer.
Yep, that's correct. That's a howitzer.
There were usage of the D30As, and there were usage of the bigger ones to the left of you. The right ones were used occasionally, but not to the same extent due to their targeting fucking up a lot of the times. Right. No, but as King said, when you start noticing larger and larger explosions and happening more frequently, the main force is, in quotation marks, coming closer. Anyway, anyone else? Yeah, Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be because I have the attention span of a hamster, but it was like at least an hour too long for me for a training.
No, yeah, I know. It was a little bit too long. It was supposed to be 1.5 hours, but we kind of went overboard and went for 2 hours instead.
But still, very good lessons learned for at least Saren and me, so it was worth it.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say. If somebody has to say it, just say it right again. Say it now,
Phil?
outside. Yeah, go.
I just kind of have like kind of a suggestion, like some kind like how we did in 1-2, like some way of forward scouting, because it really helps, even though, especially in the defensive position, to know when the enemy are coming. Like if we had like a small team of 2 men, like just forward observing, I think the success will be even greater.
Yeah.
We did have 1-3 Bravo in the beginning, but then they pulled back after that first initial fight.
Okay. Because, I mean, the second wave, me and Casella were in the observer position, and we could spot the enemies like, what, maybe half a click away on the London position.
Yep.
Be something to consider, I think. It's just suggestion.
No, it's a good suggestion. Now, anyone else? Otherwise, you're all dismissed.
I would just like to say, I think
just one thing.
Yeah,
no,
just
I
say it
would
out
just like
loud.
to say that it's I like the combination of theoretical and practical. I did not really mind that it sort of went over time because I think it was a good exercise. Thank you.
All right, whoever needs CLS training, I will hold it now after your boy Sable dismisses. So whoever wants that, you can stay and we can sort that stuff out. All right, thank you.
Right, you heard a man. CLS training after this. Otherwise, you guys can bugger off.
Ooh, thanks for hosting, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Sable, have you heard that song?
Bye.
Miller, we have a moment.
What song?
Yeah, sure.
Bugger off.
No.
It's an Irish song. It goes, bugger off, you bastards, bugger off, fuck you. You gotta love it. I can send it later on.
Probably. Yeah, do that.
Ooh, awesome. I'm in.
It's hard to get hold on because it's not, there's a lot of fuck and shit like that in it.
Bro, you can't lay around there.
På svenska nu. Jag tänkte på det just och reflekterade lite.
Kan vi gå och ha båtar först? Jag har dem för mycket.
Sorry. Like I need to dinner.
I mean, we can take a 30-minute break.
Yeah,
if you guys
I
want.
was asking for that.
Cool.
Just
Ja, hur tycker du att det gick?
Tolkningsfråga.
Nej, men det jag tänkte säga var att dröningsstrid. Good shit.
Ja, det är ju lite mitt bord kan jag ju säga.
Jo men exakt, det var därför jag bad ju på, speciellt på long range att, vad heter han, Saren skulle komma fram och faktiskt berätta det att nu tycker jag att du frågar King för han är lite mer av en specialitet.
Okej.
Nej men jag tyckte det gick bra faktiskt.
Ja, alltså som helhet. Det var just det, jag har ju pratat också med Sarah nu om det. Att vi inte rörde på oss efter eldöppnandet.
Det tänkte jag på, för när jag teleporterade till skitsamma engelska, svenska. Så stod ni där nere i basen så att reflektera. Då ville inte jag stoppa er för det kom fram väldigt bra punkter från båda hållen. Hur de skulle kunna reflektera, hur de skulle kunna sköta striden på ett sätt.